Hi, Tobias.
Hi, Mathilde.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you very much for accepting to be part of this video today.
Pleasure is mine.
So, Tobias, should we dig in straight away? And may I ask you to tell us a little bit about your career path?
Yes. So right now I'm 30. Right now I am a trading manager in commodities, in fertilizers. So I'm not going to go through my whole career because I did a little bit of everything from cabin crew to selling insurances. But in commodity trading, I started off in shipping and freight forwarding. That was really my base, which I did for 4 years. First that I started studying at the STSA to do an operator certificate, then obviously became an operator, a senior operator, more managerial status in terms of operations and training people. Then I went into business development, trader, and then manager trader.
How was it going from operator to trading? Because I get a lot of questions with regards to that, like how easy it is to go from ops to the actual trading itself.
I would say it's nearly impossible.
Okay.
It's not really the correct. I mean, it's not something that is similar. A good operator is not necessarily a good trader, and a good trader is not necessarily a good operator. Then I know there is two kind of teams. The team number one is you shall be an operator prior to being a trader in order to understand what you're doing. And some other companies are opting more into that an operator will not necessarily be a trader, and it's not really the same skill sets. So therefore, there is no use of being an operator to become a trader. And the switch is kind of difficult because, again, a company that is training you, if they are risking to train you to become a trader, they're losing probably a good operator as well. So it's really a win-win to you as an employee because you get the new job, but for an employer, if it doesn't go well, it's a lose-lose. They lose a good operator and they don't get a new trader. So I wouldn't say that's the correct path, even though it's mine.
Understood. And just to get back to the skills, what kind of skills do you think are needed, like for a good operator and a good trader?
I would say for a good operator is being very resilient. You have to be able to take stress and be able to work under pressure and be extremely organized. I don't really think apart from that, that it depends on which commodity, obviously, but I would say languages, depending with which part of the world you're working with. Even though today we have artificial intelligence and translation
Mm.
is, it's still good to speak some languages. That would be always on the plus side when you're face to face with people. And for a trader, it's a bit different. The languages are always, but be very analytical, be very strategic, being able to see and understand the bigger picture, and obviously being not too bad at economy, I would say. But it's more about your capability of reading a market and grabbing or taking opportunities to yourself, a little bit like an entrepreneur, because you open your own company, you have your own suppliers, your own customers, your whole, network together.
It's really interesting that you say that because one of the core skills that's required when I recruit is
Yeah.
entrepreneurship and business development mindsets.
Yeah. I would say that is the number one because I just take my example, but most of the time I work alone. Not really having someone who's supervising me directly, which is often the case within trading. Often the head of trade is in another country or on another desk. So it's really up to you. Can you make it happen? Can you make business? Can you take the leadership to make stuff happen? And that is the most important, in my opinion, even more than economy, because getting used to that vocabulary and environment is pretty easy. But being an entrepreneur is more in the mindset, I would say. And that's why you have so many different traders. Every single trader has a different story. Some are coming more from an engineering background, some were doctors. I've known some that were philosophers and became traders. So I think being an entrepreneur is the number one skill you need.
Super interesting. Could I ask you, like, what is a fertilizer trader? What do you do in your day?
Yeah. So a fertilizer trader is you buy and sell big quantities of fertilizers. So I would say, generally speaking, I try to buy cheap and sell more expensive, bigger quantities, and supplying. My main market are Europe and Africa, so it's connecting all the dots, finding the proper supply, finding transportation to bring it from point A to point B, and try to lose as little money on that you can on the way of doing it.
So basically, you're on the phone all the time. How does it work? Is it mostly
Yeah.
emails?
I would say WhatsApp, WeChat, depending on which part of the world. But yeah, it is the phone 24/7. That's why I can basically work just with WhatsApp and WeChat. There is a bit of emails when it becomes more official. Some stuff has to be written on email, but most of the time it's just being on the phone. I think I would spend about 5 hours a day on the phone.
And what about face-to-face meetings?
They used to happen a lot. Nowadays, I think COVID made a switch that most people actually saw that, there is still used to see each other face to face, but people rather just not travel, or more the companies rather not invest in expensive plane tickets when you can just do it over Zoom. And you meet face to face when it's very important customer or supplier. And there's a few conferences, at least in fertilizers, that I attend a year. It's about 4 or 5 of them. So that's when I get the chance to meet people face to face. But most of the time, people don't really travel as much as they used to before. They still do, but it's not really as it used to be before. People really prioritize WhatsApp nowadays or Zoom.
Exactly. And you can still meet
Yeah.
people over those channels, which is great.
Yeah, it is to a certain extent. I'm even though my young age would say that I rather prefer Zoom, but no, I really like face to face. So it's a bit a pity, in my opinion, that we're losing a bit this part of the job, because it was part of, you need to see the suppliers travel to the country, understand a bit more, the cultural differences. That was as well part of the job. It was not the main skills in the job, but was part of it and was an interesting part of it.
And with regards to meeting the suppliers,
Yeah.
etc. So do you travel a little bit with your position, and where is the
Yeah.
market at the
So
moment?
I would say, so my markets are Europe and Africa, so that's mostly where I travel. Rest of the time, I would say my suppliers that I see are China or Middle East, without saying too much, but
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not hiding anything by saying this. And all the conferences, so it could, be Southeast Asia often, or Europe or the US, depends where the conferences are. So that's a bit everywhere. Every year, I know what they try to change continent, so that's good for us. And then obviously, depending on which market, but my customers mostly are in Europe, so that's where I travel the most. And hence why my position is important to be in Geneva, because I'm the closest to that market.
Understood. And are you able to tell us a little bit about the markets at the moment in fertilizers, or where you think it's going to go?
So it's hard because now fertilizers facing something that they weren't really used to. Fertilizers, we don't have an exchange that has prices every day changing. It's more rumor based. We have obviously some paper trade, but it's very small. It's mostly reports that base our prices. So generally speaking, in the prior COVID, there was very stable and very few differences in prices. I would say, variations in about 20% every year, plus minus 20%. And, it was mostly high historical highs and lows and seasons and demand. Pretty easy to predict with not much volatility. Nowadays, it's the opposite. After COVID, prices just went through the roof, and nowadays we're up and down all the time. So it's very hard to have a proper opinion. I'm just saying that I think prices will go up now with elections in the upcoming month, and that's what I'm seeing. Most people are taking positions where they're storing fertilizers, hoping that prices will go up. So most people are taking long positions. So I'm gonna go in that way because I see most of the very experienced traders, which I'm not yet, are going to towards that.
Understood. And I have a little question just to get back to your background and where
Yes.
you came from. Did you always know that you wanted to be in commodities and in trading?
So Trader, I wouldn't say. When I was younger, I think I was dreaming either to be in trading, generally speaking, not necessarily commodities, or relationship manager in a bank. Uh, that path didn't really go through, I would say. But in the end of the day, the moment I started to work within shipping and commodities, generally speaking, I knew I wanted to be a trader. That was the goal day one when I went in. I know that I'm gonna now deceive some people that I used to work with when I said I wanted to be an operator my whole life, but no, I always wanted to be a trader. That was always the main goal.
Did you know traders to know that you wanted to go in that direction?
Yes. I
Okay.
knew on my parents' side, obviously growing up here, everyone is working to some extent in commodity trading.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know traders as per se, but I knew some people related to traders and that environment. And at least the stories I was hearing when I was younger inspired me to become a trader, and still today. And so the moment I got an opportunity to enter this world, I knew that, that was where I wanted to go. I wanted to become a trader.
Amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Really
you.
inspiring.
I don't know if it's inspiring, but I hope if I can help others, that would be the most inspiring thing I could do.
Wonderful. With regards to, so
Yeah.
being a trader is was your dream and it came true. But what about the
Yes.
challenges to get there, or what are your current challenges in general?
There will always be challenges. I'm gonna start with the ones I had and the ones I have
Hmm.
now, because life is all about challenges. But the biggest one coming to trading is you don't choose who's gonna employ you and take the risk. Because in the end of the day, at least where the niche I am in, there's only a few spots available. A lot of people who are dreaming to become a trader. That is the reality. Everyone wants the spot. Traders are it's a very small part of the company. Usually, it's maybe 5 to 10% of the employees, but most people are inspiring to go that way. So the competition is very hard. You need to understand that, you know, the opportunity is only who is willing to train you, who's willing to take some of their business and give it to you, or at least show you the way they are doing. So the biggest challenge is that you don't really control, when or how it will happen. So that's really the biggest challenge, because there is no recipe to become a trader. There is some stuff that people sharing together, but you can ask another fertilizer trader how he became a trader, and he'll have a totally different story than mine. And so that's the biggest challenge. There is no proper way of becoming, you want to become an airline pilot, you have to do a license and you become a pilot. There's one way of doing it. Same to be a doctor. You have to have a doctorate.
I'm going to suggest something.
Yeah.
Hard work. It's not the only thing, but
Yeah.
hard work
Hard
is
work is always, but that's no matter what you do. If you want to
yeah.
do something, you have to work hard. So I didn't mention it, but that maybe is the number one,
Hmm.
and the rest is down to I wouldn't say luck, because there is no such thing as luck if you work hard. But when is the right opportunity and when should you take it? And to comment to challenges right now, I would say it's just what do you do from here, and how do you keep yourself having proper challenges out of the ones, that is just numbers, because having a positive P&L is the number one challenge as a trader, and making bigger numbers and bigger revenues and more profit. But apart from that, that is a metric on the paper. It's not a proper challenge in career. So that, I would say, is the hardest, and trying to stay focused even when it's not going well, because there's only a few traders I know that have a perfect career without anything going bad, and to staying, calm and composed when it's not going the way you want.
What keeps you up at night in general?
Not much right now, to be honest. I sleep pretty,
Okay.
pretty good. So I used to be up a lot at night, but I try now to respect a little bit more my health and sleeping, and making sure, everything is done before going to bed. I'm not saying I sleep
Hmm.
every night. I'm not saying I'm not taking calls by night. I'm just saying I'm trying to make it a priority to not answer on the phone at night anymore. So that part is away now, but obviously, some situations, sometimes you have a ship that doesn't have the proper document, to discharge, etc. That is some stuff that could keep you up at night. But I try, to dissociate. even though this is my passion and is my dream, I still try to be relevant and try to sleep at night whenever possible.
Nice. I've got a question with regards to
Yeah.
like achievements. What do you think is
Yes.
your biggest achievement in your career?
I would say following my dream and becoming a
Mm.
trader without a single diploma. That is probably because my biggest achievement is becoming a trader without anyone believing in me. Because if I think if you had to bet on someone 5 years ago, you wouldn't have chosen me. And even myself, I probably wouldn't have chosen me. But I trusted my instinct and I went to it even though everything was against me. And that is my biggest achievement for now. Even though it sounds a bit, entrepreneur, internet influencer, but
I mean, it resonates so much in me, exactly what you're
mm,
saying. Yeah, because you do get like barriers throughout your career, people
yeah,
telling you that you're not going to manage, etc., and just carrying on and believing in the future.
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, when I entered and started coming on, and I was an operator, people were telling me, "Man, you're too ambitious. Be a bit realistic. Look, you didn't even do a bachelor's, and now you're speaking about becoming a trader. You're only an operator. This is not a career path of being a trader. The competition is very hard. You will be against people from this and this university," which was the case. So, but this is maybe, something that is good and bad. I tend not to listen to people when it's negative, and I tend to listen to myself. Could be positive, could be negative. That's up to you to decide. But
So last time we spoke on the phone, we had a chat about Dubai.
yeah,
And actually, as a matter of fact, I was just on the phone earlier with someone based in Dubai, and
yeah.
I mean, it's a booming place. Do you think it's a threat to anything, or do you think it's just like the normality, the new normality?
I think it is a threat to Geneva. Not the biggest one. Again, Geneva will still have a big place for commodity trading. I mean, we are, without, making it too big, but we are the world hub for commodities. Singapore, London, New York is competing, and Dubai to a certain extent, but Geneva is still the major hub. This is where most of the stuff happening. And we still have the most skilled labor, I would say, because we have really specific studies to this industry. But Dubai is very competitive because it's coming up with, what Geneva was good at before: low taxes, very safe, very modern, good salaries. So now it's only a matter of time when the good labor is going to come. And, I know that in Geneva, the Geneva state is trying now to be a bit more, competitive and keeping the big companies here in Geneva, but
Yeah.
still we are losing attractiveness, I would say, because of, weather, taxes, criminality. So on a matter of time, I would say Geneva will be less and less competitive.
What do you think Geneva or Switzerland could do to keep this the competitors this?
This is only a personal opinion, but I think Switzerland should become a bit more capitalist again, because that's why, commodity companies used to come.
Mhm.
Neutrality, very good on taxes, very safe environment. Uh, okay, the number one reason was neutrality, making business with everyone, which is something that we lost.
Yeah.
So this is something that, okay, now we see that there is a way of making business with whoever you want, even though you have a company in Geneva, just have to have other offices. So it didn't really, that's not really the main issue nowadays. But when you take as a whole that, it's not very good in terms of taxes, Geneva, Switzerland is pretty good as a whole, I would say, and safety. But again, it's very hard to compete against Singapore and Dubai. I mean, we're speaking about countries that are exceptionally safe, very low taxes, very modern, and they're making it a very comfortable place, which I think Geneva or Switzerland as a whole is living a little bit too much in the past and is a bit forgetting to look in the future, and especially how important commodity trading is. I think that, it's a bit overlooked. People are always speaking of Switzerland as banking, watches, chocolate, but we tend to forget about the biggest industry, which is by far commodity trading, especially for Geneva.
No, absolutely. I think that Geneva does have to
Yeah,
offer something more than the skiing, like in terms of infrastructure, taxes. There definitely
yeah.
has to be an extra step for sure. I
Because
still remember. Sorry.
now you must be seeing it in recruitment that
Exactly.
people are moving to Dubai and
Yeah.
wanting to go to Dubai, especially.
Yeah. So it's funny because a couple of years ago, when everybody was starting to go, I
Yeah,
still remember like the people I was speaking to were like, "Oh, we need to go to Dubai, but don't worry, I won't be there for long. I'll just be there for a few months and come back, or live in Geneva and go there, commute, etc." And now it's interesting because a lot of people are actually happy there and
yeah,
are not willing to relocate right now. Obviously, at some stage they will, which is
yeah,
great. But I think that there's still more and more companies settling in Dubai at the moment as we speak. I
yeah.
can't remember the figures, but it's crazy the amount of commodity trading companies that are settling on a daily basis in Dubai. So,
No, it's really crazy, and I think that the biggest change was in the beginning. Dubai was trying to attract people to come, and now people want to go to Dubai. So that's really a big change because even during COVID, I heard people, maybe thinking I got this opportunity by a company in Dubai, but I'm still thinking. And now I'm meeting more and more people who are saying, I would like to go to Dubai. I'm looking into jobs in Dubai.
mhm.
And I think people don't want to miss the train as well because Dubai seems too good to be true, and each year we see a little bit of taxes coming in, the real estate going up a bit more. I think people don't want to miss that train.
Well, there's no amazing skiing in Dubai, that's for sure.
They ski the whole year, from what I heard. So
Yeah,
it's better skiing than us in summer here.
yeah, that's for sure.
You can still come back for vacation. I know I'm part of the team that I wouldn't mind to
Yeah,
live in Dubai right now. And I'd rather come back 2 weeks during the winter to ski and stay in the darkness the whole the whole winter. But
yeah. So speaking of which, what are you doing for your year-end holiday? Are you going away, staying around?
no, I think I'll be around, and usually I always go away. Nowadays, I try to be a bit more climate friendly and stay in Geneva.
Okay.
No, and just generally speaking, I'll be around for once in a while. It's good to settle at home, and not move too much. I don't know
Will you
what
be
you're doing.
working? Are you going to be
Of
working a
course,
little bit? Yes, you
there's
are. Okay.
there's there is no time off, so I mean,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
but for you must be the same. There is no vacation, even when you're off, you're working.
Absolutely. That's the joys.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Tobias, for
My
your time
pleasure.
today. And yeah,
The
all the
pleasure was
best.
mine.
All the
Yeah.
best. I mean, thank you for sharing your amazing story with us. It's extremely inspiring.
I don't know
It's
if it's amazing, but I really appreciated sharing with you, and thank you for inviting me. I like this kind of exercise, so
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Alors, I'm going to stop the recording.
Ouais.